Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syafiqah Husna Binti Ramlee, and this video is about my presentation report of my industrial training at MASMED from 1st of March till 31 August 2021. In this video, I will explain about what I have put in my report. So, are you ready? Let's go to the first slide. In my first slide, what I have put is executive summary, which is I tell about this report about my experience industry training at MASMED UiT Perlis for about 6 months from the 1st of July till the 13th of August this year. I include my latest resume in the student's profile part. Then I describe thoroughly and briefly about my company where I do my internship at company profiles. Then at the training reflection part, I talk about my reflection while working there, about what I felt and what I gained from the internship there. Next, the main feature that I took in this report is the SWOT analysis about MASMED, where I explain strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then I related it with PESTEL using a diagram. After the analysis part, I discuss and give each of the SWOT identified in my SWOT analysis diagram. Last of this discussion, I end it with a conclusion followed by reference and appendix. Next is acknowledgement, where in my report, at the acknowledgement part, I express my gratitude to all those who were involved in my industry training directly and indirectly. Next is at student profile part, where I put my update resume. As you can see here, this is my latest resume. The next slide is about company profile of MASMED, which is the history of establishing the Malaysian Academy of SME and Entrepreneurship MASMED began in 1975, known as the Malaysian Entrepreneur Development Centre (MEDAC). Then, on 1st April 2010, the Executive Committee decided that MEDAC, ERSC and Tunas Mekar be merged and under the auspices of the Entrepreneurship Institute, which was later renamed MASMED and being used until now. A vision of MASMED is World Eminent Entrepreneurship Academy, and the mission is transforming life through entrepreneurship. Then, the strategy here is developing student skill and interest in a conducive entrepreneurship ecosystem through business zoning, startup programs, business incubators, and attachment opportunities in successful small and medium enterprise (SMEs) that support student-owned business. Then, the value of MASMED is excellent synergy integrity. Other than that, our tagline is enculturate, engage, create. Next, for services, MASMED unit at UiT Perlis serve to encourage entrepreneurial activities among students and staff of UiT Perlis and the local community through MASMED by providing entrepreneurship training, provide opportunities for UiT Perlis students to venture into entrepreneurship through the Student Entrepreneur Kiosk program. Then, encourage students to attend entrepreneurship seminars organized by UiTM and external institutions. Provide TOT training to entrepreneurship lecturers to strengthen the teaching and learning of ENT course. Hold entrepreneurship conference at the national and international levels to encourage the involvement of UiTM Perlis lecturers in entrepreneurship research and entrepreneurial innovation. Okay, we go to the next slide, which is this is the picture of organizational chart of PGIMNA. For MASMED, there are only 2 staff there. First is Seniza and second is Miss Fadlia. So next slide is about my training reflection. So first, my duration. I do my internship at MassMed is starting on March 1st and complete it on August 13th. And then the time I go to work is from Monday to Friday, starting from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. My supervisor is Sir Muhammad Nizar bin Muhammad Noor. My role here is help Miss Fadlia doing her task if she needs help and do the job that Sir Nizar asked me to do. And then my duty here is to design a poster for each program set up and do the e-certification and Google form for the program that held by MassMed. And then my other duty is key in the data of participants who joined the program and then complete a document as a program report after the program was held. And after that, manage the admission of industry training students who do internship in the UiTM RO Perlis, and then help other staff at PGIMNA who need help from me. Then I will tell you about the benefit I get from doing industry training at MassMed UiTM Perlis, which is first is I don't have to worry about residence because I stay at hostel, and then I can gain new knowledge and skill. The advantage that I get is be able to find out how the employees work in the company with real experience working in the company. So my new experience I get is I can see administrators in the organization doing their respective tasks. And then what I get is I learn something new because I learn from professionals in the industry. And my feeling doing my industry training here is industry training is more than just earning credit, getting grades, or making money. It provides an opportunity to learn from the people around me, ask questions, and impress. And the chance I get here is I learn a lot about my strengths and weaknesses during the training, and I will improve it in future. Next slide is about SWOT and a SWOT diagram of MassMed. First, I put here is strength, which is the strength of MassMed is existing students in the field of entrepreneurship and provide facilities and incentive to students who want to start entrepreneurial activities. Second is weaknesses, which is MassMed is a lesser non-unit. And then the information delivery and program and activity execution techniques are ineffective and unachievable. And then for opportunities, MassMed has become a place for the government and private sector to collaborate on entrepreneurial projects. And then MassMed receive fundings and sponsorship from outsider agencies and from UiTM for the programs conducted. For the threat, COVID-19 pandemic and online distance learning caused a lot of SOP needs follow, and then the platform that MassMed use in providing information on entrepreneurship not very effective. That is about PESTEL, which is for politics. There is no issue that can relate with SWOT, and for economic, students involved in business and entrepreneurship affect the economy, and students can get profit from that, and they can help to ease the burden of their families while studying. And then company who make a collaboration, they also will get a profit from it, and it can improve the economy. For social, it provide facilities and need for students, and for technology, use platform that not very entertaining for students because it is not interesting and can be boring. For legal, there is a legal that need to follow standard operational procedure during Malaysian control movement. And for environment, it is the pandemic COVID-19. And then this is a PESTEL analysis framework, which is you can see here that I put the arrow with a SWOT analysis related to PESTEL analysis, and I will explain the relation of them in the next slide. So here is the SWOT analysis related to PESTEL explanation, which is first is politic factor. There is no relationship between them. And then the second is economic factor, which is related to opportunity. MASMED has become a place for the government and private sector to collaborate on entrepreneurial projects, which is opportunity that related to economic factor, because company collaborate with MASMED need students to promote and sell their product, which in return student involved in business and impact the economy. And the second is the increasing of company product being sold and they get profit, it will improve the economy also. Second is social factor, which is related to opportunities. MASMED receive funding and sponsorship from outsider agencies and from UiTM for the programs conducted related to social factor, because MASMED use the fund that they receive for students, facilities and fulfill their need, which they implemented social responsibility. Next is technology factor, which is related to threat, because the platform that MASMED use in providing information on entrepreneurship not very effective, which is threat related to technology factor, because it is not interesting and can be boring. And then students have a problem with internet access to join the program where it related to technology problem. And the next one is legal factor, which is COVID-19 pandemic and online distance learning caused a lot of SOP need to follow, which is a threat related to legal factor, because regular programs that MASMED could run cannot be done because many requirements need to follow. And second is need to follow SOP, which related to legal made by Malaysian government. And last one is environment factor, which is COVID-19 pandemic and online distance learning caused a lot of SOP need to follow, which is threat related to environment factor, because students cannot go to university because of COVID-19 pandemic and the program face-to-face cannot be run. So next slide is about strength, which is first is existing students in the field of entrepreneurship. UiTM's objective is encourage students and develop their interest toward entrepreneurial sector. UiTM also to produce a young entrepreneur among graduate students. The impacts toward students is it helps them in future, which they can use the knowledge and experience to create a job after they graduate, and teach students with crucial life skills that will help them navigate with this uncertain future. And the impact towards MASMED is people will recognize MASMED with service they provide and give benefit to its students. UiTM ranking in producing young entrepreneurs will also be high, which will be a source of pride. And second is provide facilities and incentives to students who want to start entrepreneurial activities, which is providing business space, which is ruang niaga to students who want to start entrepreneurial activity. And then provide a financial aid such as loan for students who want to start a business. The impact towards students is increase students' interest in entrepreneur and helps students tackle capital issue. And second is impact towards MASMED. UiTM alumni who MASMED has assisted may reciprocate by donating funds and other facilities. And for recommendation, continue its efforts in existing students in the field of entrepreneurship and provide facilities and incentive to students who want to start an entrepreneurial activities, and then provide advice such as financial management. Next slide is about weaknesses, which is MASMED is a lesser known unit because few students at UiTM are realized, particularly the new ones, are still not aware of the existence of MASMED and its role towards students. And the impact towards students is they don't get the opportunity to highlight the potential in entrepreneurship even though they have an interest in entrepreneurship. And the impact toward MASMED is affect the name of MASMED in the eyes of outsiders, because UiTM may lose potential products in entrepreneurship, such as students interested in entrepreneurship but have been unable to execute it because don't know where to refer. And second is information delivery, program help and activity execution techniques are ineffective and unachievable because cannot ascertain this matter whether students are following and comprehending what is being conveyed or not during the program. The impacts towards students is the inability to seek the appropriate business guidance from MASMED. And the impact toward MassMed cannot achieve the goal they want, which is to assist students at UiTM, and also lose students who wish to seek advice from them due to some activities and delivery methods that they provide are unattainable and unattractive. For recommendation, do periodic promotions about activities or even create posters about words of advice on entrepreneurship and distribute them to students. And then create a regular program for students through online, and the activity should be attractive and promise attractive offers. Next slide is about opportunity, which is first is MassMed has become a place for the government and private sector to collaborate on entrepreneurial projects because they want to help Bumiputra in venturing into entrepreneurship, and UiTM signed an MOU with three companies, which is Shopee Mobile Malaysian Sdn Bhd, Shin Global Sdn Bhd, and Simply SS Trending Sdn Bhd. So the impact towards students is they can learn from experts who are already successful in entrepreneurship on how to do a business. Second is market products from company, including their products using platform provided by collaboration agency and get profit, such as the Shopee Mobile Malaysian Sdn Bhd. And then the impact towards MassMed is they can working with certified professionals, experts and consultants in entrepreneurship, and then get trust from students to seek for help from MassMed because they enhance opportunities to students find future employment. Second is MassMed receive funding and sponsorship from outsider agencies and from UiTM for the program conducted, which is they receive funding and sponsorship from alumni or agencies that collaborate in the program. And then the sponsorships does not really have to be in the form of money. It could be come in the form of facilities or commodities that can be utilized to perform out the activity. And the impact towards students for this is the student don't need to worry about finding a money to start a business and don't have to pay for every program that MassMed help because the cost is already borne by the sponsor. And then the impact toward MassMed is every program implemented will run smoothly and all the necessary equipment will be enough. So the recommendation for this opportunity is always show good relationship with sponsorship so that they trust MassMed to do more joint programs. And then MassMed also needs to constantly promote the product produced by the sponsorship company so that they see the effort MassMed do and they believe that MassMed can be used as a place for them to collaborate in the future. Okay, next slide is about threat, which is first is COVID-19 pandemic and online distance learning cause a lot of SOP need to follow, which is regular program that MassMed held could not be continued because many standard operating procedure had to be adhered to. So the impact towards students is they get less experience from the program and the information MassMed to try to deliver cannot be reached to them because activities through online get many distractions. And the impact towards MassMed is they cannot provide an attractive program as before because there were obstacles that made the program difficult to run makes MassMed difficult to achieve their objective. Second is the platform that MassMed use in providing information on entrepreneurship not very effective because the platform used could not ensure that the information they provided would be accepted and understood by the students. And the impact toward students is they can receive the information they expect to get very well because they may not understand and the internet slow while the program is still running. The impact toward MassMed because might lose participants who were interested in receiving services from them because the method they delivered the info did not pique the participants' interest. For the recommendation for this method is should overcome this issue with try to provide on an interesting program and use a new platform that people nowadays like to visit every day, such as YouTube and TikTok. Next slide is about conclusion, which is my report is about my company that I include SWOT analysis and framework. Also pastel factor that related to SWOT. I explain about the SWOT analysis of MassMed where the place that I do my internship program. Then my vision during I do my industry training here, I got a lot of new knowledge and skill. Since I do work from home a lot during my internship, I learned how to use many software that I never know before, and it helped me to increase my skill. Even though my job scope is not related to main course I study, human resource, and not much knowledge I get during my study can apply during my internship, still I observe the company environment and I relate it with what I have learned in my class as my self-reflection. And 5 years later, I believe that I managed to get a permanent job. Then I feel grateful that I managed to finish my industrial training at Masmed UiTM Perlis this year. Next slide, I show you the reference that I use. I use Mendeley for APA reference so that I don't make any mistakes. So next slide is I put the appendix, which is you can see here, the essay and the poster that I made using AI for Masmed program. Okay, last but not least, before I end my video presentation, I would like to ask you if you have any questions related to my report. You can WhatsApp me, call me, or email me with the number and email that I put in the description. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye.